Okay, so here we have the YORX. I believe it's an R5284. Here, let's check that. Yep, an R5284 clock radio with a cassette deck in it. We're gonna try to fix this up. I've already kind of worked on it a little bit before this. The tape deck was all completely jammed, and you wouldn't be able to get a tape in there. But here I got that somewhat working. I cleaned out all the old grease, so now if I jam it in there just right, I can kind of wiggle that, and it ejects just fine. Let's plug this in. So the clock works just fine. Got the dimmer here, which I really like. The other problem that there is with it is that the left channel is really quiet. It is supposed to be stereo, but the left channel doesn't work all that well. So here, if I turn it on, you can, I'm not sure if you can hear that, but so the left is fairly quiet and the right's pretty loud. So if I do that, so that's max volume, and it's still not crazy loud. And then if I turn the volume way down and then go all the way to the right, it's about the same volume. That's probably the same volume right there. So we're gonna try to figure out what that is. I've already taken a look at that some, but I wasn't able to find anything. Before I cleaned up all the potentiometers and tried that, and that didn't fix it. So I looked on the forums, and they seem to think that the most likely problem could be a bad capacitor or maybe a cold solder joint. So we're gonna have to look for that. But the tape deck works pretty well. I'll throw the tape in. It's kind of a junk tape I've got, but you get the idea. The tape deck itself is actually pretty noisy. Not sure if you can hear that, but it squeaks a fair amount. And that's because I just used degreaser on there. I never added any grease, so I think we're gonna try to do that today. But it sounds all right. Still has that same problem with the right being loud and the left being quiet though. So I'm not sure what that's about. If I test the AM, we'll tune in.
Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Balance of nature. Fruits and vegetables in a one life at a time.
Same problem, but the AM seems to work all right. So yeah, let's take her apart. So now I have it apart. Here, I'll just undo that real quick. That'll make life a little easier. So I'm not exactly sure what to look for, but I'm gonna look around for a bad capacitor or a cold solder joint. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. So I've been playing around with the multimeter right there for probably the past half hour, and I think I've finally found out which capacitor might be bad. I'm thinking it's probably this one. So it's the left channel that has the problem. And this wire right here is the positive wire for the left speaker. This goes down to here. And then when this is plugged in, it goes to the left speaker right there. And then over here, this blue wire connects somewhere into this capacitor. And this capacitor right here connects to this red wire here. So I think I'm gonna have to take this capacitor out and test it. So yeah, I'm gonna look into it some more and see if that's what I've got to do. And then if that's what I've got to do, I'm just gonna take this one out. I'm not sure how much you're gonna be able to see. I've got this flipped over. And I'm gonna take out that capacitor so that I can test it. I tested around with the multimeter some, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that might be the problem. So I've got my soldering iron all heated up, and yeah, I'm just gonna take the capacitor out so I can test it. Okay, just about there. And we have our capacitor. So looks like 10 volt, 22 or 220 micro. I think it's farants, or I don't know. My knowledge on capacitors is fairly limited, but I'm gonna test this now, and yeah, we're gonna see if this is the capacitor we need to replace. Okay, so I put the capacitor right there back in. I tested it, and as far as I configured, the capacitor is still good. So yeah, I put it back in, and I'm not really sure what other capacitors are for that, so I think I might have to come back to that later. But I think that I might start trying to work on the tape deck some in there. So now we can take that out. Okay, so I have this all taken out. So now we can kind of move this around and get a better look at this. And then I also got a little bit of, just a little bit of motor oil. No, I didn't. Just pee on it. I'm not gonna use that as lubricant. Yeah, so then I got a Q-tip. So I'm just gonna kind of roll the Q-tip in the motor oil and just kind of get it on in here. Okay, so now I can screw the tape deck back in. We can see if that works. So I put the tape deck back into the case. It's screwed in now, and I plugged it in. So here's our good old junk cassette. Yeah, let's see if this works. We'll switch it to on, turn the tape. So already that's a lot better than before. Before it would only come out just a little ways, and it just springs right back out. So it's still not perfect, but it works a lot better. Let's try the fast forward. So you plug it in, or you push it in, and that goes to there, but it won't come back out. But if you do that, it comes right back out. And there you go. So that works a lot better than it did before. Not perfect, but I think that's good enough. So for this next part, you can see I've put the entire radio mostly back together. And that's because I am going to clean the case. You can see I've already done that a little bit here and right there. And you can see kind of in here, it's gotten pretty filthy. That should be all black, and it's all gray and dusty. And kind of in here. So how I'm going to do that is take this toothbrush and get it a little wet, and then just kind of get that in there and get that all clean. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll see you in a little bit. Just so you can see the difference, I have done all of this side and just a little bit on this side. You can see the side I've done is all black. And then over here, the side that I haven't done, you can see those little pieces on the right I've already done. But then all of this I haven't, and that's all white and gray and dusty. So now I have gotten all of that clean. Here you can see that is nice and clean, and that is nice and clean as well. So now we just have to put the knobs and stuff on. And there we go. That concludes the repair and cleaning of this.